The College Football 26 July 24th patch is officially live, and there's a lot of issues that appeared to be addressed that weren't in the initial patch reports that were put out 2 days ago, including some of the biggest in the game, including things like aggro catching and blocking when it comes to certain blitzes. So if you guys want to see a full breakdown of what EA said that they patched in the patch notes compared to what was actually patched when you try out the game, stick around after the intro. If you guys need fast, cheap, reliable coins for your ultimate team, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below. The champ is here! Welcome back, Money Team. This is Madden Money Shot, sniffing up the college cheese as always. In today's video, the College Football 26 first official title update with patch notes is officially live. And I'm going to tell you all the things that EA said that they patched, as well as some things that the community members are finding that they patched that they didn't mention in the patch notes. But before I do, as always, if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, and let me know in the comment section. Other than that, let's get right into the video. Now, I first want to talk about the patch notes that came out 2 days ago that I don't think was supposed to come out. Normally, when EA releases a patch note, it is based off of the patch that came out that day, where in this circumstance, this was released several days early. And when I originally found it, it actually had a different title. It was called the Title Update 2, which was kind of weird because it sounds like a working title. A lot of times you'll title something when you're releasing information or releasing something, you don't give it a full title. And then after I put out a video about it, they changed the name to July 24th, which leads me to believe that they didn't think that this was actually accessible to the public. I think that they made a mistake. I know as a YouTube creator, I can upload something, or I can upload something to my website, my own personal website, MaddenMoneyShot.com, and it isn't until I actually publish it that it's available to everybody. So what I feel they did is they accidentally published this information, and then once they saw that I was making a video about it, or I put out a video about it, they decided to just basically just let everybody have access to it, change the title, and said, all right, well, this is what we're going to do from now on. They made up a story about how they're going to be doing this in the future, where they're going to let this information out prior to the actual update being out. If they continue to do that, then we know they weren't lying. But if they don't do that in the future, if they go back to the same method of releasing on the same day as the patch, then we'll know that they were lying about the specific incident. So I just want to make you guys aware of that, because that has more consequences than just a mistake where they accidentally let out the update notes before the actual update. That kind of lets me know how little bit of attention they're actually paying to College Football 26 compared to their development team, probably putting way more effort into the launch of Madden 26. And this is just another sloppy example. So if you're a fan of College Football 26, this could have bigger consequences than just a mistake that they made, where basically they let the patch notes go live before the patch went live. I don't think that it's really the case. I think that they're just so focused on their other game in Madden dropping in about 2-3 weeks that they're just, you know, not giving a lot of attention when it comes to college football. But either way, let's go ahead and let's go through the patch notes, because there are several patch notes that came out, but we're finding that there's way more stuff in the actual patch itself when you actually play the game. Now, I'm going to go over this really quickly because, like I said, I did do a full breakdown of this 2 days ago. So if you guys want to see a full breakdown of these patch notes in more detail, I will have links in the description as well as on screen at the end of the video and popping up in the top right hand corner right now. Now, as far as the gameplay fixes, there really weren't a ton. It says that they fixed the issue where the play art remained visible, which is something that I went over, which was obviously helpful. Might still be in the game though, because like I said, they said in head-to-head when using home field advantage, which I know it happens a lot in practice mode too, where there is no home field advantage. So I don't know why they're just suggesting that. It says fix an issue causing a player to freeze in place during a hit stick attempt. Fix an issue preventing stunts and twists from activating properly when selecting from the play call menu, which is verified to have been fixed. I've seen people saying that it does work there. It says fix an issue sometimes preventing a catch animation from playing when clicking on and taking control of a wide receiver during the route. Now that is something that happens a lot. We just get this out of reach type of animation where you really can't catch the ball. But I did notice, and it says here, it says variety of tuning and animation improvements to physics-based tackling, and then it also says variety of game stability improvements. Now, the variety of tuning and animation improvements to physics-based tackling just sounds like words, but what it really feels like is they tuned the ability to basically aggro catch every single ball. As I and a couple of other creators that I saw were basically trying out aggro catching to see if it was nerfed, because they didn't mention it, even though a lot of people, one of them specifically mentioned aggro catching in these patch notes. It does seem as if they tuned that down to an extent where the point where you really can't just go up and moss people anymore. It actually feels like when you're trying to go up and make aggro catches, especially when close to defenders, it kind of feels like you're on rails more. It feels like the defender's like sucking you in more, and it just makes it much more difficult to make aggro catches now, which is something that I know a lot of people had a lot of issues with, and will probably be happy to hear, as a lot of the gameplay, especially online, was people just throwing it up and trying to come down with it. Well, now it feels like defense is back, at least in this perspective, where one-on-ones aren't as dangerous anymore. I know that I personally tried this out with Jeremiah Smith, who's probably the most broken player in the game, based off of the fact that he really is the closest thing to like a Randy Moss. Like most people that play with Ohio State were just chucking it up to him, trying to moss you every single time, and it's definitely much more difficult to do that. I was able to secure a couple of moss attempts with him, but it wasn't like the type where he would also break a tackle and score. It was like the type where he would basically trigger an animation where he could catch the ball over the defender, but he would also go down pretty immediately, basically making it to the point. I mean, he's the highest rated player in the game, so he should be able to do stuff like that from time to time, but it definitely feels much more, it doesn't feel like it's as given. It feels much more difficult to do. So I do feel like this is specifically meant to address overpowered aggro catching, even though they didn't mention it specifically. It really was something more of what they just kind of put in the background, and then said basically that they fixed an issue when it comes to, it just says tuning and animation improvements, but it's way more than that. Now, they also said that they fixed an issue causing blockers on power O plays to sometimes take their initial movement in the wrong direction. Well, it seems like they did more when it comes to blocking than just that, as a lot of people are posting that they're noticing, especially when it comes to like inside pass rushes, like loop blitzes and stuff like that, that they're getting picked up more reliably. It's not necessarily like a full sweeping fix, but some people's favorites, type of blitzes and stuff like that definitely might not work the same as they did prior. And this one really seems to be targeted more towards, like I said, loop blitzes and edge blitzes, as I just feel like guards in general just weren't doing a very good job. Another thing that I heard was that apparently they did nerf the stiff arm, like I mentioned in previous patch notes, that they were saying that they were going to address this, and that they basically had already made an attempt to try to, and this is before they even had patch notes. This is like when I was doing videos on information that was being shared on EA forums, where they were suggesting that the stiff arm was overpowered and that they were going to be nerfing it at some point. Back then, all they said that they did was change the timing required, or they were messing with the timing of the input to try to make it a little bit less. But they did say in the future they were going to nerf that, and a lot of people are saying that basically they've nerfed the stiff arm completely. Now, if you're one of those people that just lives off the stiff arm, you're going to get destroyed. As stiff arming feels like you have to be in front of the player now for it to be more effective. As you can see, I can still stiff arm defenders that are kind of behind me, but if you try to do this in a game where you're kind of like not in front of them, they just kind of take you down right away. So really, I think what now the stiff arm depends on mostly is what angle you're actually at. As you'll notice that, like I said, this guy here, if he's on the side of me, he's going to take me down right away, but I actually would have broke through that. So I feel like it's more about they nerfed the angle at which the stiff arm works, as you really can't stiff arm a defender that's going to be up the field from you, compared to if he's behind you. As like I said, a lot of times I'm trying to slow down here. As you see right there, even that stiff arm kind of worked through him, but I'm sure I would have been tackled as a basis of the stiff arm. But ultimately, stiff arm does feel like it was nerfed a little bit, as well as aggro catching, which I know is something that a lot of people really wanted to see. But that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go over like all the patch notes, because a lot of them I already went over in a previous video. So if you guys want to see that, I'll have that pop up on the screen right now. So just click the link so you can see the full update notes from 2 days ago that they put out. It's still the exact same, but these are the things that I've noticed and a lot of other community members have noticed have changed. So I'm going to end the video there, but if you want to see the full notes, just click the links. And until next time, thanks for watching, man. Wish it out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.